Welcome back to Maria's Kitchen. Today I've got a show for you. I am doing homemade red enchilada sauce, and it's going to be delicious, fast, and easy. Okay, I'm going to go over the ingredients with you really quickly. You're not going to need very many items, but I have to tell you this. I am making it with lard, which is the authentic New Mexico way. We always use lard, but I'm going to give you a choice. If you don't want lard, you can use Crisco shortening. So we're going to use 2 tablespoons of that. You're going to need some butter. I've got real butter, just like 1 tablespoon. You're going to need a little bit of flour, just white flour. And I know there's some people that, don't use chicken or beef products, but I'm making mine with chicken. But I went to the grocery store and I saw this and I was like, wow. So if you don't want to use any chicken or beef broth, they have the vegetarian, it's the vegetable broth, so you can use that instead. You're going to need chili powder for sure. This is one of the main ingredients. A few spices, garlic salt, and pepper, a little dash of oregano, and of course, my favorite, I love crushed chili seeds. You don't have to do this. This is going to be optional. The very first thing you're going to do is turn your flame on medium-high heat. I've got it on. We're going to put in 2 tablespoons of lard. Now I gave you the option to put Crisco if you wanted to, vegetable shortening. And I also have just 1 tablespoon of real butter. We are going to just let this melt. Once it melts down, we'll put our flour in. So it will be just a little bit till this melts. It's all melted. I'm going to actually lower it just a tiny bit to maybe a low. I'm going to put 2.5 tablespoons of flour, and we're going to just cook it down a little bit to make like a little roux, and we're going to cook it down. Let me change this. We're going to cook it for a little bit. We're going to cook it for just a little bit, and then we're going to be adding 2 tablespoons of chili powder. Now you can pick whatever chili powder you like, as long as they do have a hotter one, which would be New Mexico, and then they have a California one, but I picked New Mexico chili powder, 2 tablespoons, and we're just whisking it. We're just going to cook it just for a little bit, really quickly. And then that, as soon as it cooks just for a few seconds, literally, I open the can of chicken broth. I got low sodium because we want to make sure that we are going to regulate our salt intake. So we can always add salt later. I'm going to turn the flame up a little higher now to medium. And we're going to pour this in and keep stirring it around the whole time because we want it to stay nice and smooth. Break up all the clumps. And I know you're saying, why are you using chicken broth? It's going to be very, very tasty. But if you don't want to use chicken broth, you can add just water, or you can add the vegetable or beef broth. It's going to be whatever you choose, but I like the chicken. I'm putting about maybe 3/4 of the can, and you're just going to keep checking it. I lowered the flame to a low. We're back on low, and I'm adding an 1/8 teaspoon of garlic salt, Lawrys, and then I'm adding an 1/8 teaspoon of crushed oregano, an 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper. And we're not going to add the salt right now because I want to make sure it doesn't have too much salt. And look at how it's getting thicker. So I'm going to actually add about a dash of water. I'd say about a 1/8 cup of water. And we're going to get it so that it's nice and smooth. Look at that. Look how beautiful. Oh, it's so pretty. And that's how fast you can make this enchilada sauce. Okay, remember, I'm adding some crushed chili seeds because I want this a little hot. So I'm stirring it around in there. And you know what? I want to let you know that it's thick. Now, if it gets too thick, you can always add a little more water and you can just get it nice and smooth. So I'm going to taste it actually really quick and see if it has enough salt. I think it needs just maybe an 1/8 teaspoon of salt, tiny bit. And then, you know what? We're going to let it simmer just for a few minutes and I'll be right back. Okay, I just want to let you know that I put a little bit of water and I turned this off. It's just sitting here and I just smoothed it out a little bit. I hope you enjoyed the show today. I had so much fun showing you this. And now I'm going to go into the scripture of the day. Hear me, O Lord, for your loving kindness is good. Turn to me according to the multitude of your tender mercies. God's tender mercies. The Lord is good to all, and his tender mercies are over all his works. Lord, you know me so well, better than I know myself, and you know what is best for me. I place myself in your care and thank you for your tender love that brings me all that you know I need.